Hi, friends. Welcome back to the Kindness Advantage. I am your host, Cindy Rowe, and in 10 minutes or less, we are going to explore ways to bring kindness into every corner of your life. Today's episode is one that feels really important right now. I'm going to talk about belonging, not fitting in, not popularity, not being part of the in crowd, real belonging. The kind that allows you to, breathe, exhale. The kind that says, I can be myself here. And here's what I've come to believe. Kindness is one of the fastest ways to create belonging. And belonging, might be one of the greatest gifts we can give another human being, besides kindness. So let's get started. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately felt like you didn't belong? Maybe it was a job, a networking event, a school cafeteria, a neighborhood gathering, a conference where everyone seemed to know each other. You start looking around and suddenly you become aware of everything. Like what you're wearing, like what you say, whether you're standing awkwardly by the cheese tray, like just feeling very uncomfortable. You know the feeling, right? Please say that you know the feeling. Yes, because we've all been there. We have all been there. Belonging is a fundamental human need. It's not a luxury, it's a need. And there is science. So, the science of belonging, researchers have found that the need to belong is as fundamental as our need for food, water, and safety. In fact, psychologist Abraham Maslow placed belonging directly in the middle of his hierarchy of needs. Yep, you heard it. And more recent research supports that idea. A study from Better Up found that employees with a strong sense of belonging experience, get this, 56% higher job performance, 50% lower turnover risk, and 75% fewer sick days. Think about that. And this is for all my HR people. I know you're listening, right? This is insane. Like these numbers are crazy. Belonging isn't just a nice feeling. It is connected to our health, engagement, productivity, and our well-being. Excuse me. And, here's the interesting part, I believe. We live in a time where we're more connected than ever, but many people feel extremely disconnected. I got a tickle in my throat. Hold on. It always happens in the wrong time, And hey, I'm a press record and let it fly kind of girl on my podcast. So where was I? Even though we're so connected, we are feeling more disconnected than ever before. And the U.S. Surgeon General advisory on loneliness, nearly half of adults report experiencing measurable levels of loneliness. Half. That's crazy. And loneliness isn't just emotional. Research shows chronic loneliness can increase the risk of heart disease, anxiety, depression, and even premature death. And that is a pretty big deal. Which means belonging isn't just about feeling included, it's about feeling human. So I have a story, and just probably, several of you probably do. And I always love stories. So you can message me, you can write it in the comments, you can email me, let me know your story. But I was attending an event years ago where I knew absolutely no one, not one person. And I was doing what probably most of us do, right? Standing there pretending to check my phone while I was internally negotiating whether I should leave or not. Then somebody walked up to me and simply said, "Hi, I don't think we've met." That was it. It wasn't a big gesture, not a life-changing speech, just an invitation. And instantly I felt different, safer. I felt seen, included. And that's the thing about belonging. Sometimes it's really just created in seconds. And guess what? I went along the rest of the event just fine because somebody made me feel like I belonged. And belonging isn't about being the same. One of the biggest misconceptions about belonging is that it means finding people exactly like you. But it's not sameness. Belonging is just acceptance. And, Brene Brown, gotta love her. She says true belonging doesn't require you to change who you are, it requires you to be who you are. And I love that because fitting in and belonging are not the same thing. Fitting in asks, what do I need to change? Belonging asks, what happens when I stop pretending? And it's funny because you know, being out in the dating world at my age, I often think about the belonging part. And one of the things that I am bound and determined, and this might be a little TMI here on my podcast, I don't talk about my love life, but I am determined to be me. I am not going to pretend to be somebody else. And the right people are going to come across to me when I be myself. And I want that for you too. That's what belonging is. It's what happens when I stop pretending to be somebody I'm not. What happens when I get to just be me? And here's where kindness comes in and why kindness is so powerful. Kindness creates a signal of safety. It tells people, you're welcome here. You matter. I see you. You don't have to earn your place here. And those signals don't have to be big. It could look like someone, learning someone's name and using it, saving them a seat, inviting them into a conversation, checking in after a meeting, or asking, how are you doing? Really? Those moments are small, but they're not. they're actually like belonging builders, right? So here's 3 ways to create belonging this week. I want to make it practical. So number 1, just be the first person to say hello. Don't wait. So many people are standing around hoping someone else makes the first move, but you could be that person, right? You never know who's feeling invisible. And guess what? Kindness takes courage. And I know you're probably like, ooh, Cindy, that's like cringy that I have to be the first. Do it once. See how it makes you feel. And guess what? You're going to realize it's really not that big of a deal at all. It's not. But be the first. Be the first person to just say hello. Number 2, notice who's on the edge. Like in meetings, at events, in social situations, look for the person that's standing all by themselves, or maybe the person that's been super quiet, the new person, the person who hasn't spoken a word. Kindness notices what everyone else overlooks. So just pay attention, and then maybe that's who you say hello to. Let people be human. That's number 3. This one is huge and really, really important. Belonging grows when people don't feel they have to be perfect. It creates spaces for mistakes, for vulnerability, authenticity, which is truly, truly important, right? Being authentic to who you are. Perfection does not create connection. Humanity does. And I want to leave you with this question. Think about someone who made you feel like you belonged. What did they do? I bet it wasn't complicated. It was probably just a small act of kindness, maybe a conversation like I shared before, maybe an invitation, a moment of just being seen. Now imagine becoming that person for someone else. Now, at its heart, belonging is not about being invited into a room. It's about feeling safe enough to stay in that room. And kindness is what creates that safety, that conversation, that smile, an invitation, the act of noticing. The world doesn't need more perfect people. Well, because guess what? We're not perfect. Just don't try to be. It needs more people helping others feel like they belong. So this week, I challenge you, right? Drum roll, please. Create one moment of belonging for someone else. Invite them in, include them, notice them, and you might never know how much it will mean to them. And I want to wrap it up. If this message today resonated with you, share it with somebody, and please subscribe to my channel wherever you're listening or watching this to. Give it a little subscribe button. Give me a 5-star review. That is a kind thing that you can do for me, and it means the world to me. I want you to remember that kindness isn't just about making people feel good. It's about helping people feel like they belong. And together, we create waves of change through kindness. Thanks for tuning in.